Hey friends, Rabbi Jenny Solomon in Raleigh, North Carolina from Beth Meyer Synagogue. Here to share a mincha moment during this final week of counting the Omer, known as a week when we focus our attention on the Sfira of Malchut or Shechina. One way to translate that is sovereignty or nobility. But for me, it's really about how do we take this spiritual work, which goes into counting the Omer, and then bring that work of contemplation and prayer and intentionality and noticing and expanded awareness. How do we bring that into the world that we live in, this imperfect world, this broken place, this world so desperate for our spirit, our unique gifts, our unique contributions. And I want to share this in the context of course, what's happening right now in Israel and in the occupied territories. And I want to say that I don't have any wise words or any answers other than there's a deep feeling of helplessness that I feel, and I imagine others as well. Beyond hopes and prayers, which are not insignificant, what else can we do? There are certainly things to do, and we can support people on the ground who are doing the work of building connection and compassion and diplomacy across difference, for sure. But I think that the other thing that we can do is to continue to build robust spiritual lives and communities, the ones that we live in, wherever you may be, of nobility, of malchut, of shechina, of places and a life where God can be felt and seen and noticed. And there's a beautiful teaching by the Baal Shem Tov, and it gets quoted by the Piasetzner Rebbe, that Torah is like rain. And so wherever the Torah falls, so to speak, wherever Torah teaching falls, it nourishes the seeds that have been planted. So for me, this period of time of counting the Omer is very much about planting seeds. And what seeds do I want to plant? So that the Torah study that I do now and into the year, the season ahead, the year ahead, that my Torah study helps those seeds to grow. So if I plant a seed of anger, the Torah that I study will grow anger in the world. If I plant seeds of love or of justice, then I believe that the Torah study that I do will nourish those seeds. I'll never forget, I had some great teachers in rabbinical school many years ago. I had some less than great teachers. They will remain nameless. But one of the things that I struggled with most about my less than great teachers is that they often brought a heart of skepticism, a heart of sometimes of cynicism, and sort of a heart of repudiation to their Torah learning. And as such, what I saw grow really brought nothing to my life, to my own growth, my own ability to see, feel, and notice the divine in my midst and help make a better world. And so I really committed, as sort of an act of my own rebellion, that as I would go on, please God, to continue studying Torah, I'm still a beginner after all these years, and have the privilege of teaching it, that I would bring to Torah a heart of love and compassion and justice and mercy and truth and vulnerability, that those are the seeds that I want to plant. And that's not a once and for all commitment. That's something that I have to commit to in an ongoing basis, in which and also to celebrate a sort of recommitment to as we approach Shavuot. So very soon, in a matter of days, we will conclude our counting of the Omer and celebrate Shavuot, in which we commemorate the giving of Torah. And my hope and prayer for all of us is that we spend these remaining days not only manifesting in the world, in our lives, in our relationships, this work of counting the Omer. So it's not just an intellectual exercise. It's not just a matter of math, for sure, but really allowing that to flow through us, flow through our hearts and our bodies and our hands and our feet, so that we're manifesting it here on earth, where we live for this short and precious time. And that as we approach Shavuot, that each one of us takes time, at the very least, to commit to planting and continuing to plant the seeds we want to grow. So that as we study Torah in all of its forms, those will be the plants that will blossom and will nourish not only us, but the planet and all those who come after us. All right, friends. Peace. Shalom.